Welcome to our presentation on the Humanism learning theory. This presentation looks at how humanism, and specifically Maslow's hierarchy of needs, applies to learning and learning design. We start off with a brief introduction to humanism. Humanism is a learner-centered theory that focuses on the development of the whole person. It considers not only academic knowledge, but also emotional and social growth. It emphasizes personal growth, self-awareness, and intrinsic motivation. Therefore, humanism views learning as a meaningful process where learners actively work towards achieving their full potential. Now let's take a look at the key theorists behind humanism. We will look at three key theorists, namely Abraham Maslow, Carl Rogers, and Arthur Combs. Abraham Maslow introduced the hierarchy of needs, showing that learners must meet basic needs before effective learning can happen. Carl Rogers contributed the idea of learner-centered education, where the teacher supports and guides learners. According to Arthur Combs, learning can occur if learning is meaningful to the learner. This implies that teachers or educators cannot make students study material that they don't like or that is not related to their routine in life. Overall, their work shows that learning is most effective when learners feel supported and valued. Humanism is guided by several core principles. First, learning focuses on the whole person, including emotional, social, and cognitive development. Second, it emphasizes self-directed learning, where learners take responsibility for their growth. Third, humanism promotes intrinsic motivation, which means that learners are self-driven. One of the most important concepts in humanism is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which will also form the focus of the rest of the presentation. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is illustrated using a pyramid, as you can see here. The needs are ordered from the most basic to the least basic. Physiological needs, safety, and security are at the lowest level, and they must be satisfied before the next higher need arises. They are related to basic survival and include food, shelter, among others. Belonging, love, and self-esteem form the next level of needs, while self-actualization is at the apex. Self-actualization is the ability to reach one's full potential. According to Maslow, learners must satisfy basic needs such as food, safety, and belonging before they can fully learn. This means a supportive environment is very important for effective learning. Now let's take a look at how humanism impacts learning. From a humanism perspective, learning becomes more meaningful and personal, which means that the learner will be motivated to learn. And because of that self-motivation, humanism encourages learners to be active and confident. Lastly, humanism supports emotional and social development, not just academic growth. This means that learning is holistic. However, this also changes the role of the teacher in the learning process, as we shall see in the next few slides. Humanism views the teacher as a facilitator rather than just a source of knowledge. Therefore, the teacher creates a supportive and inclusive learning environment and guides learners while supporting individual needs and helping learners to grow confidently. A key part of humanism is creating a safe learning environment. Humanism encourages classrooms based on trust and safety. This allows learners to express themselves freely without fear. As a result, learners become more confident and engaged. These ideas are also applied directly in educational practice. Humanism promotes learner-centered approaches, where students actively participate in the learning process. Teachers use discussions, reflection, and real-life activities as part of their assessments. Lastly, humanism supports individualized learning to meet each learner's needs. These ideas also influence how we design learning using technology. Humanism influences learning design and technology by focusing on learner-centered digital experiences. It supports personalized learning, where learners move at their own pace. It also encourages interaction, reflection, and collaboration using digital tools. This ensures technology supports meaningful learning. However, despite its benefits, humanism has strengths and limitations. Humanism promotes personal growth, creativity, and critical thinking. It builds intrinsic motivation and supports learner autonomy. Nonetheless, it requires self-motivated learners, may reduce structure, and is not suitable for all contexts. It can also be difficult to assess learning outcomes. In conclusion, humanism focuses on developing the whole person. It promotes meaningful, self-centered learning driven by internal motivation. Ultimately, learning is not just about gaining knowledge, but about personal growth and becoming a better individual. We have come to the end of our presentation. Thank you.